Hello dear participants, I am Dr. Jyoti Mathur, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences. Well, I am back with a new topic, Innovation Theory of Profit. In this video, you will learn about famous economist Joseph A. Schumpeter, his economic thoughts, Innovation Theory of Profit by Schumpeter, innovation and its classification and its criticisms. Joseph A. Schumpeter was an Australian political economist and is regarded as one of the greatest intellectuals of 20th century. He is best known for his theory on business cycle and capitalistic development and for introducing the concept of entrepreneurship. Schumpeter was of the opinion that factors such as emergence of interest and profits, recurrence of trade cycles are only incidental to a distinct process of economic development, and he believed that certain principles which could explain the process of economic development would also be able to explain these economic variables or factors. Coming to the innovation theory of profit, in 1934, Joseph A. Schumpeter advocated the innovation theory of profit. Schumpeter's original theory of innovative profits explained and emphasized the role of entrepreneurship and the seeking out of the opportunities for novel value generating activities which would expand and transform the circular flow of income. But it did so with reference to distinction between invention or discoveries on the one hand and innovation, commercialization and entrepreneurship on the other hand. Schumpeter's innovation theory of profit is rooted in the theory of economic development. In his endeavor to explain the process of economic growth, Schumpeter began with the state of stationary equilibrium, characterized by equilibrium in all spheres. Under the condition of stationary equilibrium, total receipts from the business are exactly equal to the total cost outlay and there is no profit. According to Schumpeter's theory, profit can be made only by introducing innovations in manufacturing methods as well as in the process of supplying the goods. The separation of invention and innovation marked out the typical 19th century institutional model of innovation, in which independent inventors typically fed discoveries as potential input to entrepreneurial firms. Schumpeter believed that an entrepreneur could earn economic profit by introducing successful innovation. In other words, the innovation theory of profit assumes that the main function of an entrepreneur is to introduce innovation and the profit is the form of reward is given for his performance. Let us now take a look into innovation. According to Schumpeter, innovation refers to any new policy that an entrepreneur undertakes to reduce the overall cost of production or to increase the demand for his products. Schumpeter classified innovation into two categories. The first category includes all those activities which reduce the overall cost of production, such as the introduction of a new method or technique of production, the introduction of a new machinery or an innovative method of organizing the industry, etc. The second category of innovation includes all such activities which increase the demand for a product, such as the introduction of a new commodity or a new quality goods, the emergence or opening of a new market, finding new source of raw material, or a new variety or a design of product, etc. The innovation theory of profit lays down that an entrepreneur gains profit if his innovation is successful either in reducing the overall cost of production or increasing the demand for his products. Often, the profit earned are for a shorter duration as the competitors imitate the innovation, thereby ceasing the innovation to be new or newize. Initially, the entrepreneurs enjoy the monopoly position in the market as innovation is confined to them and earn large profit. But after some time, with others imitating their innovation, their profits starts disappearing. An entrepreneur can earn larger profit for a longer duration if the law allows them to patent their innovation. For example, Xerox Corporation made large economic profits because it successfully developed and marketed a superior copying technology. Xerox continued to make large profits until other firms entered the field to compete away these supernormal profits earned by them. Over the time, the supply of factors remaining the same, the factor prices tend to rise, as a result of which the cost of production also increases. On the other hand, with the firms adopting innovation, the supply of goods and services increase and their prices eventually fall. Thus, on one hand, the output per cost increases, while on the other hand, the per unit revenue decreases. But in a competitive and progressive economy, the entrepreneurs always continue to introduce and adopt new innovations and thus continue to earn profits. Let us consider some criticisms leveled against the innovation theory of profit. This theory has ignored the importance of uncertainty bearing, which is one of the factors that determine profit. The innovation theory does not take into consideration the element of uncertainty as an important factor giving rise to profits. As pointed out by Professor Knight, the main emphasis should be on uncertainty and not on innovation, because even in the absence of innovation, the entrepreneurs would be able to earn profit if they can predict the future with a fair degree of certainty and accommodate the changes of demand and supply conditions in the market. This theory does not consider profit as the reward for risk taking. According to Professor Schumpeter, the entrepreneur is never the risk bearer. The one who gives credit comes to grief if the undertaking fails. This is, however, not correct. For we know that in the modern industrial organization, it is the entrepreneur, not the capitalist, who bears the entire risk of business. The last of the criticism is that this theory is incomplete because it has failed to explain all the factors that influence profit. Critics argue that the function of an entrepreneur is not only to introduce innovation, but also to organize the business in the most efficient manner by coordinating the activities of various factors of production. As such, profits are not exclusively due to innovation, but also due to superior organizational ability of the entrepreneur. Besides innovation, there are several other factors that give rise to profit. For example, existence of monopoly, chance profit, etc. To conclude, we can say that innovation theory of profit has been criticized, but still it cannot be denied that innovation, whether of a product or process or otherwise, has resulted in huge profits to many successful entrepreneurs. Dear participants, I hope this video has enhanced your understanding of the innovation theory of profit. Thank you. All the best.